Of course, our top story this morning, flooding. The National Weather Service reporting snowmelt from the Clark Fork River basin has caused minor flooding in parts of the Missoula area. Meteorologist Stephanie Henry said this morning that the Clark Fork has seen rapid rises in the river level over the past week due to warm temperatures and the weekend rains.
It has been starting to level out a little bit early this morning at about 10.3 feet right now. We are expecting the river to crest above Missoula at about 10.5 feet early this morning before it starts to decline slowly this afternoon and evening.
Henry provides more details of the flooding impact.
We have been seeing impacts with the high river levels. We have heard of some of the waters rising above the Orchard Homes area, and we're seeing some lowland flooding in the upper Clark Fork area as well for both East and West Missoula, but we are expecting it to improve here shortly now that the colder air is over the area.
A flood warning for rain and snowmelt remains in effect until 8:45 tomorrow morning for south central Missoula County. Crews from Frenchtown Fire District and Missoula Rural Fire responded to an early Saturday morning fire that totally destroyed a manufactured home and add-on structures in the Petty Creek area. Spokesman Mel Holtz said the call came in just before 5 o'clock Saturday morning.
We had multiple apparatus from Frenchtown Fire on scene, as well as requested mutual aid through Missoula Rural for a water tender and another engine. So the home happened to be up in the Petty Creek area, just outside Alberton. All four occupants were able to get out of the house without injury. They did report the fire to 911, but it was unfortunately a complete loss.
The crews were able to draw water from a nearby creek. No firefighters were injured during the incident. Holt said there was no estimate of the damage, but the family lost everything in the fire.
We had multiple firefighters and apparatus on scene. Everyone did a good job. We were able to establish water supply out of a creek nearby, and so the operations side went well, but again, unfortunately, it was a total loss. Did do an initial investigation that shows that some faulty wiring, and we're kind of investigating that further right now.
Contact the Missoula Red Cross for information on how to assist that family who, again, lost everything in that fire. Missoula Fire Department called out to stop a fire at TJMaxx on the roof at about 6:50 Thursday evening. Fire investigator Charles Talbot has more.
Evidently, a customer came in and reported that there was smoke coming from the roof. The store evacuated the people in the store, and about the time they got people evacuated and the roof hatch opened up, the fire department had showed up, and they found a small fire up on the roof involving the styrofoam insulation.
Both TJMaxx and the adjacent business REI were evacuated, but Talbot said the fire was kept to just one area.
It was not visible inside of the building. It actually did not impact anything inside of the building. It was just the roof membrane and insulation and stuff.
TJMaxx personnel were kept outside for about an hour during the firefighting effort. The fire is still under investigation. Talbot said the original damage estimate about $5,000, but it was a $5 million building. The family of a Montana man killed by a drunk driver has reached a settlement with one of the bars they claimed overserved the driver. The Independent Record reports 25-year-old Samuel Tiekling died in Helena in February 2017 after his car was struck head-on by 46-year-old Chester French, who also died at the scene. The family filed a lawsuit against Haps Beer Parlor and the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the VFW post in East Helena, claiming both establishments were negligent in serving French. The family's attorney, Murray Warhank, said he can't discuss the settlement with Haps because litigation is still pending against the VFW post. Bars can now be held liable for damages caused by overserved customers under Montana law. U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions pledged the federal government's cooperation with Montana law enforcement and drug treatment providers as the state grapples with a rise in crime and other problems linked to the surging popularity of methamphetamine. Sessions spoke about the nation's drug problem during a Friday appearance in Billings before several dozen police officers, judges, prosecutors, and treatment specialists. Much of his speech focused on opioid overdose deaths that have been a major issue in other parts of the country. However, Sessions acknowledged methamphetamines pose a bigger problem in Montana and some other states. He pointed an example of the 2016 murder of a 13-month-old girl, Kensley Olson, on Montana's Fort Peck Reservation by a caregiver who was high on methamphetamine. On Sunday's Fox and Friends program, Montana's Democrat Senator Jon Tester was a topic of discussion with comments from Deputy News Editor Alexi McHammond of the Axios website.
Senator Tester is perhaps the most vulnerable Democratic senator in this 2018 election. I reported on that for Axios. As you mentioned just now, Trump won his state of Montana by 20 points in 2016. Senator Tester's approval rating is a solid 52%, but compare that to Trump's 58% in the state, which is much higher than his national average, which suggests and shows that Montanans love the president.
McHammond was asked if the Democratic National Committee might abandon Tester as a lost cause, to which she explained why she disagreed.
There are a couple of things that help Senator Tester. One is that he doesn't really have a strong, formidable Republican challenger. Ryan Zinke is obviously part of the administration now, and the state attorney general decided not to run. So I think until that happens, that could really help Tester in his favor. But I would expect Democrats would, if anything, add additional resources to help him.
After Tester's negative comments about the prospective VA Secretary Ronnie Jackson, after which Jackson withdrew his name from consideration, President Trump called on Tester to resign from office. Democrat Tester is responding to President Trump's calls for him to resign by saying he has a duty to make sure veterans in his state get what they've earned. Tester says, quote, "I'll never stop fighting for them," end quote. Tester is responding to Trump's statement that Tester should resign after going public with allegations that prompted White House physician Ronnie Jackson to withdraw from consideration to be Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs. Trump said the allegations are baseless. Tester is facing a competitive race in a state Trump won easily, as we just noted, said that the president has signed 8 bills into law that Tester helped craft to improve veterans' care. And finally, state wildlife managers have captured and relocated a black bear after it killed 2 llamas up in northwest Montana. The Missoulian reports a 6-year-old male bear was relocated last Wednesday after authorities caught it on private property near Glacier Park. Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Park spokesman Dylan Tavish said the 184-pound bear did not have previous conflicts with livestock or human food. Tavish says the large mammal is not believed to pose a risk to human safety. Our news talk time now is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Flooding concerns along the Clark Fork River. A flood warning will remain posted until early Tuesday morning. Today we'll see scattered showers. Highs will be in the low 50s. Tonight, overnight low temperatures will drop into the upper 30s with unsettled weather expected Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.